Devi prendere il tuo posto nel cerchio della vita.
Okay, so brothers killing brothers, sadly, is a story old as time, biblical, Shakespearean. Why, in your opinion, we haven't yet understood that we are all in the same boat?
You know, I think with these characters, you know, in The Lion King, there's something, classic and Shakespearean, and I think that it's, for me, it's always been about the idea of this character with Scar who has this obsession, you know, a real kind of addiction to status and to power. And we see that just reflected, you know, throughout the world, you know, this kind of, these kind of intensely negative traits, you know, that cause an incredible amount of suffering. So trying to get underneath that, into that psychology of somebody like Scar is quite interesting, you know, because obviously what he does is so destructive. But there is something that I understand, you know, that I empathize with, you know, that we all kind of empathize with. We all know why we want status or why we want power and so on, and to a certain degree it can be a good thing to have those things, but most of us are able to kind of keep a lid on it of how much we want it. But he's so obsessed with it, you know, that it drives him kind of crazy, and I get it. I understand why he's the way he is, and that's why it's interesting to play, because we see all of that reflected in our world all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree, and well, it's like therapy for me to play a character like that, because it's also a little bit like a mirror. You know, when you play a character, you don't judge the character, you just go out and you do not what's expected from you, but maybe what you read between the lines. That is one thing, but then to look at the character and then to really think about what would you have done. I also do understand a couple of her choices, but there is still always, with a negative, a smile that she has. It's almost like she enjoys bringing pain to people, and that is something where I have to distance myself from, because it doesn't feel right. So it's like learning. It's giving and taking.
Speaking about power, there was a former prime minister of us, I'm from Italy, that said power consumes only those who don't have power. Do you agree with him or not?
The power consumes only those who don't have power.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think, well, maybe the opposite. I think power absolutely consumes people who do have power. That's how they get power, because they are obsessed with power. And that's why the rest of us have to deal with people like that so much, because they're able to, those who are obsessed with power and obsessed with status, are able to kind of rise up in the ranks, you know, much like Scar, and you know, and therefore everybody else has to kind of deal with these personality types quite a lot. Who was it? Which prime minister was that?
Giulio Andreotti.
Right.
Not my president.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the nice thing about The Lion King, because you have different people who are leaders, and you have one who wants to have the power, and then there's the other person who likes to keep balance. And me, again, being able to see this and being able to understand what is the good thing to do. And Mufasa says something like, when you have power, you have responsibility, and it's your responsibility to keep the others safe and to understand and to protect. And I think that is an important message.
Thank you so much. Thank you.